Pulp Fiction was directed by Quentin Tarantino and was released in 1994. I'm going to be analysing a scene from the film where the two main central characters, Vincent Vega and Jules Winfield, are driving along in a car with another secondary character in the back. Both Jules and Vincent are wearing suits and talking about how Jules is going to retire and how Vincent does not agree with Jules. If you could only hear what the characters are saying, you'd think these are two normal men, but we know that they are in relation to crime or killing because Vincent is holding a gun and they are both wearing black suits. Their costumes contradict what they are talking about because they're looking very smart where they are actually talking about very unserious subjects. Another thing you could say is that all the characters in the car are not reacting to Vincent holding a gun, meaning they're used to being around guns, hinting that they are characters who have some relation to crime. I also know that both Vincent and Jules are both protagonists in the film and also the antagonists. This is because even though the characters are the characters are the focus of the film, they are still not the heroes in the story. I would like to include this in my film because I like the central characters to have an aspect of being a villain. At the end of the clip, Vincent Vega looks back at the character in the back of the car and asks him a question, but doing so fires his gun and shoots him in the face. Both the remaining characters act calmly in the situation, even though there is blood all over the car and a dead body in the back. They even incorporate a comedic few lines of dialogue in the scene, which outlines that they have seen this before. Once this happens, both the characters are more interested about getting the car off the road before anyone sees, proving that the characters don't care that they have killed someone and want to make sure they don't get in trouble. The characters' facial expressions show that they are calm at this point, and Jules is more angry at Vincent for messing up his car. Both characters are wearing suits, projecting that they have power and status, which is higher than the man in the back of the car who is wearing casual clothing, which depicts that the characters don't care about this person. They are also wearing jewellery, which creates a sense of power as well. The next film I'm going to be analysing is Goodfellas, directed by Martin Scorsese and was released in 1990. The scene I'm going to be analysing is the opening credits from Goodfellas. Again, the central characters are moving along in a car. All of the characters are acting normal and relaxed. All the characters are also wearing suits, which shows they have power. And they are also driving a nice car. After a while, they begin to hear a strange noise coming from the back of the car. Henry, the protagonist of the film, wakes up Jimmy and Tommy, two other main central characters. They first think that they have got a flat tyre. This is ironic because they believe at first they have a fairly normal problem, where actually they have a dead body in the back of the car that doesn't turn out to be dead. They then realise this, then calmly pull over and go round to the back of the car. Henry opens the car and then realises that he is not dead. Tommy proceeds to pull out a knife from his jacket and stab the man while saying, "Die, die, die." This reveals to the audience that the people are not as innocent as they first thought. This could also project to the audience that they have done this before by the brutal way they are killing him. Then Jimmy takes out his gun and repeatedly shoots him just to make sure that he is dead. This leads you to believe that because this character has a gun shows that he is a villain in the story. In fact, all of these characters are antagonists and protagonists, much like in Pulp Fiction. At the end of the scene, Henry shuts the car boot and the camera pauses. The car boot shutting could represent that they have just done a normal thing, where in actual fact they have just killed a man out of cold blood. The camera pauses and a few lines of dialogue are narrated over the paused screen. I would like to incorporate this into my own film because I think having a character narrating adds a certain depth to the character. I would also like to include a gun as one of my props and also have the characters both good and bad. The third and final film I've decided to analyse is Reservoir Dogs, directed by Quentin Tarantino and was released in 1992. I've decided to analyse the opening credits from the film where they are sitting down. Mr. Pink is talking about he doesn't tip waitresses. This is just a normal subject which suggests to the demographic that they are normal people. However, the audience knows that they are not normal people as they are all wearing black suits. This type of costume is usually associated with hitmen or gangsters. In the next section of the scene, you see all the characters walking out the cafe and the music begins in the background. The camera goes in slow motion and all the characters are walking in, and it zooms in on all the characters individually. All the characters are wearing dark sunglasses and are looking serious. Some are smoking, which can suggest to the demographic that they are tough and gritty. Another one of the men is smoking a cigar, which can also suggest that he has a higher status. There's no other people in the shot except the main central characters. After the camera cuts, the song increases volume until you hear someone getting shot and the characters convey some lines of dialogue. When the person is shot, you can hear them talking and their voices, and you can hear that they have heard a lot of this before as they are acting calmly in this situation. I would like to incorporate this concept into my film with the men acting like normal people, and also the fact that the characters play the protagonist and the antagonist. I also think that I would like to include a section where the camera zooms in on the people's faces to introduce them individually.